Hello, it's Michelle, aka Chat-Mort, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by and taking time to hear what I have to say. So, every time a tragedy occurs, the same political conflict follows. Whether it's a natural disaster, a geopolitical event, an act of terrorism, or an apolitical act of violence, religious people, primarily Christians, contact victims, their loved ones, and the surrounding community overall to express their sympathy. There's one phrase in particular that begets the same tedious argument no matter what the surrounding circumstances. My thoughts and prayers are with you, or our thoughts and prayers are with you. As soon as Christians make this statement or anything similar to it, leftists respond with outrage. The Christians are called foolish, naive, virtue signalers, lazy, illogical, and dishonest. They are reminded that God isn't real. The main justification for the anti-theist outrage is that prayer is inaction that could be replaced with constructive and proactive measures. The problem is that constructive and proactive measures are usually demands for more progressive, restrictive legislation. In this video, I'm going to address two factors of the left's assertion: why prayer isn't a worthless, idiotic activity, and why responding to every act of evil by passing more laws is far from a constructive alternative. I'm sure you've heard of the placebo effect. When people believe that they are experiencing or interacting with something authentic, it alters their physiology. Much like meditation, the disciplined act of dwelling on something and willing peace and happiness on others affects one's mind. Regardless whether you believe in intelligent design or not, the act of disciplining oneself and willing health and safety on others is a humbling act that gives perspective and makes one dwell on things outside of one's own existence. This is where anti-theists argue that prayer is a waste of time because people could be demanding invasive legislation instead. The thing about the Bible is that, when obeyed correctly, it tempers ego. And ego is what makes people think that every tragedy or heinous act of violence can and should be regulated into subsequent justice or righteousness. What makes people presumptuous enough to think they can retroactively right any wrong. Ego is also what makes people think that someone who doesn't obey laws prohibiting murder and manslaughter is going to obey laws dictating whether or not they can purchase firearms and of what type, because I'm the one demanding legislation. Here's the thing. If the legal prohibition of carrying firearms actually prohibited criminals from carrying firearms, 98% of mass public shootings in the US in the last 70 years wouldn't have happened. According to the FBI and crimeresearchers.org, 98.4% of public mass shootings in the US that have occurred since 1950 happened in gun-free zones. Now, you can plead devil's advocate and say that the left is asking for common sense gun regulations, which doesn't explicitly go so far as to ban guns overall, but if you ask any assault rifle condemning leftist if they want more permissive regulations anywhere, you're going to be met with indignation and outrage. While one might argue that more invasive anti-Second Amendment legislation would have prevented the tragedy that just occurred in Texas, I'd like to ask you something. Which party would have adhered to the law in this scenario? The criminal who committed the attack and shot almost 30 people? Or the law-abiding citizen who ended the attack with his gun? That's about all I have to say on this issue. A shout out specifically to Sauron Chick, Kenny Jones, and Michael Hatch, and Cheesy Tits too, for always being my patrons and always supporting me in everything I do. Please let me know if you have any topics that you want me to discuss as well, and if you agree or disagree, please express your opinions in the comments as well. I always link my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, all of those things. My videos go up on VidMe a little bit before they go up on YouTube, so make sure to look into that as well, and my Minds.com account, my Gab.ai account. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, of course, I'm not gonna stop you. So I love you guys dearly, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you again soon. Bye.